Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we're doing the sound system demo of the 2022 Hyundai Tucson and its 8-speaker Bose audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, audio controls, speaker locations, get out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling. I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Before we get started, let's hop out, take a quick look at the car. Totally redesigned for 2022, the compact crossover Tucson, looking really good. Some kind of stand-apart styling in some aspects. But other than that, just a lot of core basics nailed very well. So if you want to see more on this car, this is technically the hybrid, but we've also been driving the gas motor car. Check the link in the description for our driving review. Now, I always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV audio files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. If you listen with headphones, you're going to hear exactly what I'm hearing in my ears. We also do these tests with the sound settings set to their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. Excellent infotainment system, baked nicely into the center console here by Hyundai. Go to setup, sound, come on. And you're greeted with the standard front, rear, left, right fader and balance control. You also have treble, mid-range, and bass sound tuning, and that is actually it. Everything else is just kind of click settings and stuff like that. So let's go through treble, mid-range, and bass. If I had any complaints about the touchscreen itself, it's just that some of the interfaces are a little too small, so you can see I was fumbling around there trying to get this to act properly. Go into the main media screen again, and see we're greeted with all of our tracks. You can go through and pick different tracks on your USB even while you're moving, so that's good. Another complaint I do have with the system in general, though, is they went without a volume knob. No manufacturer manages to go without a volume knob and receive universal praise, and yeah, the buttons, they work fine enough, but you can tell as I was shooting this, I was almost exclusively using the left-hand volume rocker on the steering wheel because it's good to have a tactile feel rather than just kind of beating on this thing. So it's a shame that I can't adjust the volume quickly, but it is what it is. Track selection, you do have seek and track buttons right there. You've also got on the steering wheel, and if you're in the media screen, you can use the touch screen. For audio inputs, you have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, USB-A's, surprisingly no USB-C. For a car that was just redesigned, I'm really quite surprised to see that. You do have wireless device charging and Bluetooth with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so that's big. For speaker locations, like I said, it's an 8-speaker system. Bose does not publish its maximum power outputs, but you can easily find the speakers. Starting down here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you've got 6, 7, and open up the trunk. 8. Nice subwoofer right here in the back right. Alright, that's all for the intro, so let's get on the road and listen to these sample tracks. And because this is a hybrid, the car is actually already running, so we can just throw it in gear, get on the road. Whoops, I do have some navigation, and it seems like even though when you have navigation paused or muted, it still messes with the audio. Another thing that, oops, man, it is tough to just turn the volume down without turning it all the way down. But another thing that the Tucson has is this pretty silly Sounds of Nature feature, which you'll have seen on newer Hyundais, but we'll go through and demo it now. These are some newer tracks though. These are changed from some of the older Hyundais. So that's Lively Forest, and then we have Calm Sea Waves. Rainy Day. Open Air Cafe. Warm Fireplace. And last but not least, Snowy Village. Pretty goofy, pretty gimmicky. I guess I could see a few uses for it, but in general, just pretty silly. Holistic, enveloping sound, but crisp and clear enough, and there's enough power coming through to be acceptable. Speaking of power, for this next one, we'll turn the bass all the way up and see what it sounds like. Hyundai did well with the bass is not only do they have that subwoofer in the back, but you've also got pretty decent bass response system speakers in the doors. So you get quite a good power in the mid bass. There's not a bunch of low end bass. You turn a heavy rap song on or something, you really don't hear much of it at all. But I've got some mirror shakage going, and for normal type of music, it sounds quite good. wrapping up my thoughts on the 8-speaker Bose system here in the 2022 Hyundai Tucson. Overall, pretty good, but at this price point, they probably could have done a little better. As Bose systems go, it's actually pretty well balanced. I'm impressed with the general easy listening and kind of medium volume. There's not too much hollowness as you get in a lot of other systems. Remember in the CX-5, it was a little worse for that. So this is probably one of the best Bose systems outside of the new Corvette. That being said, it does fall apart a bit when you try to really crank up more complex music. Yeah, for $37,000, at least in the ICE car here, I'm looking at almost $40,000 here, I think, for this hybrid one. I don't know, it's tough because there's so much nice about this car that I would expect maybe a little bit more from the top-end system, but most listening, it's pretty good. So just getting to the rating, I'd give this about a 7 out of 10. Subjectively speaking, given the class, maybe about a 7.5 or an 8. I'm mixed on this touchscreen. It works okay, but it's not best in class, also not worst. Overall, just a pretty solid system and one of the better Boses I've heard in a while. So thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the new Tucson, check the link in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on. Oh, and also, there should be a volume knob.